In January of 2014, two women went missing at the same time. They resided in North Little Rock, Arkansas. These two women, Shaquana Burnett and Terkessa Wallace, grew up as friends in the same neighborhood. Shaquana is said to have been 36 years old at the time of her disappearance. She was about 5 foot 7 inches tall, weighing 150 pounds, and has a cross tattoo on her upper right arm. Her last known address is 800 North Beach Street, which is the Shorter Garden Project apartment. Terkessa is said to have been 34 years old at the time of her disappearance. She was about 5 foot 6 inches tall, weighing about 190 pounds. Her last known address was 4704 Rogers Road, North Little Rock, Arkansas. Terkessa did have a vehicle, which was a 2009 Toyota Corolla. There was breaking news pertaining to this situation as of December 5th of 2015. Shaquana Burnett's leg, only one single leg, was found in the Arkansas River off of Resmond Park Road at the Murray Lock and Dam Park. There were no other remains that were found on that day or since, and Terkessa has not been seen or heard from since. I did do a spirit reading for these young ladies, and it is as follows. The two missing women were together when they went missing. They were like besties. They were very close friends. The news broadcast did say that one went missing one day and the other went missing the day after. However, that is false information. The two women actually were together on the day that they went missing, and they both vanished together, okay? My spirit guides tell me that the two women were traveling in Terkessa's car, which was the 2009 Toyota Corolla at the time when the ladies went missing. Okay, the two women were lured to a specific location. Sometime throughout the day, the two ladies either received a phone call or a text message from a specific individuals that they were familiar with. Okay, this person convinced them to meet them at a specific location, which they agreed, and they proceeded to do so. The pair of the women were good close friends that did everything together, or at least a lot of things together, including prostitution as well as drug use. Also, my spirit guides told me that the women were killed for multiple different reasons. However, on the day that the two women died, they tried to rob someone, which is what progressed or assisted in taking these women out in the manner in which they were. Both women were gang raped. They were shot, mutilated, cut, dismembered, and thrown into the Arkansas River in pieces. My spirit guides tell me that the women went to the park for the purposes to turn tricks, basically to have sex for money with said Johns, okay, that they were meeting up with. They were lured there because they thought they were getting a large sum of money. So under the pretenses that they were getting a large amount of money for showing up and for being a part of this, okay, which I just want to say, these women did not feel, a particular type of way about doing so. This wasn't their first rodeo, okay? So, they had partook in getting high, drinking, hanging out, partying, and prostituting for a while, okay? The individual whom they spoke to, who they were supposed to be meeting, they were actually very familiar with, okay? That individual, in fact, was the drug dealer that they had at the time, and he does have direct involvement in this situation. So they actually, didn't feel any type of way about meeting this individual, as well as the idea of them being able to make a large sum of money as well. However, this drug dealer who is involved in this situation, my spirit guides tell me that that this drug dealer is from North Little Rock, Arkansas, or he lived in North Little Rock, Arkansas, on Pike Avenue area. My spirit guides also tell me that this African-American guy who is a drug dealer is a little bit of a darker complexion. My spirit guides also tell me that he was not the only person. Not only was the ladies going to be meeting their drug dealer to get drugs, but he had arranged for them this money that they were supposed to be getting was from two men that was supposed to be giving them this money. These two men were two Mexican or Latino men that was there. These women knew this. They were familiar with the drug dealer. They had no reason, at least they thought, to be worried. Okay. My spirit guides tell me that there were several different suspects involved. However, there were a total of 7 attackers / killers who were involved in this situation. There was the one African-American or black drug dealer who was involved in this situation. There were 4 white and or Caucasian men who was involved in this situation, as well as the 2 Mexican and or Latina men who were involved in this situation. Okay. There was a total of 7 men. Okay. My spirit guides tell me that the women were murdered as well as dismembered at the park. Okay. Also, my spirit guides tell me that Terkessa's car was driven into the river. And what I see is somebody putting her vehicle into gear, either neutral or drive, and allowing her vehicle to roll into the river. So this is the reason why her vehicle has not been found. It is submerged underwater in the Arkansas River right now. Okay. Also, my spirit guides tell me that a lot of the main things that happen pertaining to this case did happen in Murray Lock and Dam Park. Okay. However, all of the other things that took place happened across the Big Dam Bridge on another area on the other side of the Big Dam Bridge, which once you cross the Big Dam Bridge, it's like this isolated piece of land that's like smack dab in the middle of the river, okay? And you literally have to walk over the bridge to get over there, okay? My spirit guides tell me that these 2 women were set up. This entire situation was a setup. Both women were blood sacrifices. In this situation, okay? So they were clearly set up. However, they were not aware that they had been lied to and was being set up until they got there, okay? My spirit guides tell me what was done to the women was a satanic ritual. Well, at some point in time, throughout the things that took place that night, there was some type of satanic ritual of some type that went on pertaining to the women, okay? My spirit guides tell me that the men involved in this crime, they do belong to some type of secret society or dark coven or satanic cult of some kind, okay? There are certain individuals of the women's family, however, who was or is aware of what actually happened to the ladies. They were a part of the setup, or they were part of the process of the setup, or just a part of the setup altogether. Okay. I cannot necessarily say that it would be everybody that they know, everybody that is in their immediate circle. However, my spirit guides specifically tell me that there are certain individuals whom are either friends, family, or associates of the ladies who was aware that these ladies were going to be set up, or they were a part of the setup in itself. Okay. My spirit guides tell me that there was 2 Johns. The women were lured to meet up with by the drug dealer guy. Okay, these were the two Mexican or Latino guys. Okay, the plan that they were supposed to meet up for sex or exchange for sex for money, or sexual favors of some kind. Okay. My spirit guides tell me that these women, they showed up, they were already under the influence, okay? They were a little high, they had been drinking, they were a little intoxicated. Well, they were severely under the influence. They were severely intoxicated when they showed up. Like I said, the women were not aware that they had been set up and they had been lied to. The amount of money that they were told they were going to get, they did not get when they got there. This made the women angry. They acted kind of belligerently. And this is when the women decided that they were going to rob the two men, the Mexican Latina guys, okay? This highly and severely pissed these men off. The black drug dealer and the two Mexican or Latina guys then restrained these two women. At that point in time is when the two Mexican men, they made a phone call to their other friends that they had, which would have been the four white men, okay, who came at that point. These women were forced at that point to the other side of the across the Big Dam Bridge, on the other side of the bridge. From Murray Locking Dam, okay? And that's where the women were gang raped. That's where they were killed and dismembered, and their body was mutilated and cut into pieces and thrown into the river, guys. Okay? All hell just kind of broke loose when they, kind of acted erratically and decided to try to rob the men, okay? My spirit guides tell me that the men involved were government officials of some kind and or law enforcement individuals, okay? So the breakdown is there was the drug dealer, okay? This was the African-American man, okay? You have 4 white men and 2 Mexican or Latina descent men, okay? The 4 white men for sure were law enforcement of some kind or authoritarian officials of some kind, okay? I definitely picked up police officers, okay? I believe the 2 Mexican or Latina individuals were too, but they definitely were the ones who had the connection to the other 4 white men, okay? Because they are the ones who made the call to those individuals. What I will say about the drug dealer, okay, you got to know at this point, we're talking about prostitution, you're talking about drugs and different things like that. This lets me know that this guy, whoever this drug dealer is an informant. He's a federal rat, okay? He's a prison snitch, okay? For him to have that close communication and things with law enforcement and, actively partook in this with them, he is most definitely a sellout to these satanic powers that be, but he is also an informant, okay? So at this point in time, I'm going to give you the overall of what happened. Guys, I, rewrote this legibly for you all. So I'm going to tell you at this point exactly what happened on this day. So like I said earlier in the day, the women were contacted either by, it was by phone, but it was either via phone call or via text, okay? The person that they were in communication with was their drug dealer, okay? Who, with the promises of getting drugs from him and for the promises of them making a lot of money from the 2 Mexican guys or Latina guys or whatever. The women were lured to a specific location. They agreed to come. They had no reason not to trust this longtime drug dealer in which they had. Okay, when they got there and the ladies realized that they were not going to be given the money that they were promised, while they were under the influence already, this seriously frustrated them, and they began to kind of go off and kind of act erratically about, the money, whatever. At this point, the women decided to try to rob the guys and take what they could from them and run off with them. But this highly pissed them off, okay? The women did not realize this entire thing was a setup from the jump, okay? Regardless if this situation went down like this, or they were set up for something to happen to them that night anyway, okay? This was already previously set up, okay? But I believe the initial plan was to abduct these women and take them elsewhere, and either kill them or sell them into sex slavery because they were already prostitutes, okay? Like I said, the Mexican Latina guys, they are the one who called the other men to come. After they were after the drug dealer and the two Mexican or Latina guys were able to restrain the women, that's when the other men were called. These women were then forced over across the Big Dam River Bridge to this isolated part of land that's like smack dead in the middle of the river. And this is where these women were gang raped. They were shot, which was ultimately what killed them. They were mutilated, they were cut, their bodies was dismembered, and they were tossed into the river into pieces, okay? So that is the overall situation of what has happened pertaining to this situation, guys, okay? I think I'm going to have to break this up into segments. Y'all, I literally have been working on this since yesterday. On my other device, they keep cutting the device off. I'll get all the way through with the video and all of a sudden my device will just go off, or, they'll freeze it up and, it won't save anything. I've tried to go live and do this, and they have continuously tried to block me from getting this message out all day long. So I figured I would try it this way. But for some reason, if I record for longer than 30 minutes on this device, it'll split up the video. And then I have to try to upload it in different segments and, edit it and all of that stuff. So that was the overall reading, the spirit reading and everything that I had for them. I did forget to tell you all, from the jump, before I did the spirit reading, I had that feeling that these women were already deceased. I had the feeling that these women were involved in prostitution and drug use. And my overall initial thought was either they owed the plug or the drug dealer some money and could not pay and were killed, or either these women tried to rob the drug dealer and were killed because they did that or whatever. The majority of what I intuitively, psychically, felt, empathically felt and everything was pretty accurate. I just had no idea that it was so many other people involved, especially when it comes to law enforcement, police officers, different individuals like that, okay? I did specifically ask, these individuals who were law enforcement and involved, because these women come from North Little Rock. I wanted to know who all was involved with this. So I definitely got a clear answer that police officers were involved. But I believe there were police officers from multiple different units, okay? Rather from Little Rock Police Department to other units, okay? I'm going to go into that more when I do, I've actually pulled several different messages here for them as well. However, I'm not going to be able to get it all on this video. So y'all make sure y'all go and see part 2, okay, to this. This case actually piqued my interest, guys, because of the fact that I am familiar with these women. These two women, I've seen before. I, kind of know I grew up on that side of town that they came from too. North Little Rock is a little bit smaller city than Little Rock. Little Rock is the biggest city in Arkansas, okay? So everybody in North Little Rock kind of know each other, either went to school together, grew up in the same neighborhood, families know each other, type of thing like that or whatever. So I've definitely seen these women before. I knew these women before. What piqued my interest about it, because if you all remember a while back when I did the videos telling you all about the different things, me being a target and the different things I was going through dealing with my family, how I had 4 family members who all died on the same side of the family, my dad's side of the family, and they were all blood sacrifices for money. I'm sorry, guys. My cats are down there brawling. But yeah, so that's when I originally seen this broadcast. And it piqued my interest because they were out doing some type of visual type of thing, like a community, search type of thing, and putting up posters and things. And I seen a lot of my family members on my dad's side out there and on the news broadcast that day. And, I just thought they are so fake, phony, and fraudulent. Here they are sacrificing our own family, and y'all are out here like y'all are so actively involved in searching for these women. And the interesting thing is the one lady, Terkessa Wallace, she's actually said to go by another alias or last name of Johnson. And those Johnsons are on my daddy's side of the family. So she could very well possibly be related to the family in some type of way, which is also the reason why they were out there, guys. But I'm telling y'all, there's more to this, and individuals are very fraudulent, very fake, very phony, and know more than what they're saying pertaining to this situation and what actually happened and what went on and everything, guys. So like I said, I didn't know I was a target at that time. It wasn't until the 4th family member died, after my cousin Junior died, is when I realized that I was a targeted individual, okay? And then like a lot of different things started happening and going on. And, I really hadn't come up with the idea of doing the missing mysteries yet. And so when I did decide to start doing them, I said that I was going to do this case, okay? But I couldn't find the original news broadcast, and I didn't have the accurate spellings, first and last name of these ladies, so I couldn't find it. And ironically, they ran this news broadcast on our local news here the other day, and it came to my phone as a notification. So y'all know, with me being a target, I'm being listened to, I'm being watched, I'm being stalked, I'm being harassed, I'm illegally having my human rights, civil and constitutional rights illegally invaded and violated by the government every single day. I got fake, phony, fraudulent families with a hit out on me, doing black magic and voodoo on me. It's constantly something. And the government, people in power, they're not doing a damn thing about it. They have allowed these people to steal my identity, to steal my inheritance, money, to steal property from me, a house from me. They've bought cars in my name. They've just done so much. And the feds are watching and know of this, but they're not doing a damn thing about it. Why? Because the government is involved. They're sellouts, okay? They thought that they were going to get away with doing this, and the government was going to allow them to get away with doing this as long as I didn't know and find out what had been done. But because of the simple fact that I did find out and I began to speak out about it, and I have put all of them on blast about it, only now, is people scrambling around trying to play pretend like, something's going to be done about it. But, anyway, nevertheless, guys, so like I said, this news broadcast came back to my my phone notification, and I said, okay, you know what? I sat on it a couple days. I'm led by Spirit. I waited for Spirit to give me the motivation and the chance to do this. And I had a whole broadcast perfectly set out for this, but they've literally screwed with me for 2 days now, trying to prevent me from getting this out. And like I said, I was going to stop at nothing until I could do so. And so that's what I'm here doing, guys. So give me just a minute, and I'm going to show you this brief broadcast, okay?
to solve the cases of two women who went missing 7 years ago, just a day apart from each other. Our Alexis Wainwright spoke.
They actually went missing at the same time, guys.
Why they're not giving up their quest for answers all these years later.
You know, she's grown. You know, she's probably out doing her thing, you know, having fun. But
sorry, guys. They've been messing with my device all day.
She will always let me know, like, if she's going to go out of town or what she's doing.
Shanisha Thomas says she didn't realize her sister was in trouble until she didn't hear from her after several days. 36-year-old Shaquina Burnette went missing in 2014. The North Little Rock native was last seen early January. Since then, her family continues to look for answers.
She was just a very friendly and open person. She was very artistic.
A day later, another North Little Rock woman also reported missing, Terkessa Wallace. Since then, the two cases have been posted together by police and have gotten a lot of attention. Just last week, a nonprofit search group worked with North Little Rock police to help find answers in these missing person cases.
Through your story yesterday and the involvement of the press here in this scenario, local law enforcement who has reached out and said, hey, we want to work with you guys.
Thomas says it's nice to have someone care this many years later to help and try and solve this case.
For them to even want to, you know, put themselves out there to help with cases like this is a very good thing.
Police say both of these cases are still missing persons investigations. During that search, by the way, last week, not much was found. But police and the family are once again asking anyone with information to please come forward.
Okay, guys, at this time, I'm going to pull the extra messages that I have pertaining to the situation, this case. It is going to roll over into part 2, so make sure y'all see part 2 in order to see all of the messages. First of all, we have can't trust anybody. So these women definitely felt like that they could not trust anybody. Obviously, they couldn't trust the regular, you know, drug dealer that they had known for a long time. They couldn't trust the people that was around them. There was actually people that was very close to them in their circle in which they could not trust either. Next, we have drug addictions. They definitely had some problems with some drug addictions. That was, you know, played a big part in the things that went on in this situation. Okay. The next message that we have here is setup gone wrong, okay? So like I told you all during the spirit reading, I definitely felt like that there was originally, it was set up anyway, okay? If it had not have gone the way that it did, there was something else that was going to take place to these women that day. Either way, they still would have went missing and never have been seen or heard from ever again. However, I feel like the setup went wrong because when the women kind of acted erratically, about being lied to and not getting the money that they thought they were going to get. They literally kind of flipped out, which pissed off the other guys. And that's when, you know, they were attacked and this whole other plan was put forth, okay? Next, we have breaking news here. Of course, this situation has been on the news several different times. They have broadcast this on the news actually quite a bit, which is very interesting to me because usually when it comes to African American people, there's not much time, money, or resources that is put into finding, you know, individuals. A lot of time the cases go cold very quickly. Usually when dealing with African American persons, people who are sex workers or drug addicts or homeless individuals or, you know, just individuals like that, there's usually not very much effort that is put forth to helping and assisting people of color when these type of situations come up. The next message we have here is sick Satanists. Like I told you, some of the individuals involved were a part of some type of satanic cult, which played a big role in the other things that they ended up doing with these women's bodies. There was definitely some type of satanic rituals that took place out there at Murray Park. by the Big Dam Bridge, okay? Next, we have here wicked witches. So there's definitely, I believe these women either have witches in their family who was working against them, or these women have, there were witches that played a part in what took place. There was a part of this setup and everything that went down pertaining to what happened to them. The next message we have here is, it's a wicked, wicked world in which we live in. It definitely is, okay? I tell you all the time, watch your surroundings, watch the company you keep. You just never know when somebody is going to try you, when somebody is going to try to, to stab you in the back, to take you too fast, and you got to always be on guard and ready to protect yourself at any given time. The next message we have here is pay attention to the red flags. Okay, I definitely feel like that there were some other situations that went on, like in the hood, like in the neighborhood, leading up to this situation. And there was red flags all around this situation that these ladies were not able to see, to know that they were being set up and that something was going to go wrong when it did. Okay, but they were definitely lured out there. The next message we have here is gang stalking. I do feel like because of these ladies' lifestyle, because of their background, because of several different situations, these ladies were being gang stalked, they were being watched, they were being targeted and different things like that. My spirit guides came across and told me that not only were law enforcement, but other individuals in the community was aware of the types of lifestyles that these women had, and was very familiar with them, okay, and the type of things that went on. The next message we have here is satanic powers that be. So with the six Satanists here, the wicked witches, it's no doubt that these satanic powers that be will come up. They are definitely in behind a lot of these, eerie things that goes on, okay? The next message we have here is them folks ain't right. So I definitely feel like this is pertaining to the satanic powers that be, pertaining to all parties involved in this situation and what happened to them, what was done to them. I also feel like the individuals close to them and their family and different things who was aware or partook in the setup against them were not right, okay? They were literally totally betrayed. The next message we have here is rest in peace. This is clearly letting us know that these women are no longer with us. They have crossed over. They are deceased. They were outright murdered in cold blood, okay? So I definitely send peace, love, and light to them, and may their soul rest in peace. The next message we have here is freak-a-leak, like it nasty, nasty. So this could be pertaining to these women, considering the fact that they had a history or a background with prostituting and different things, or it could be some of the individuals who took advantage of them. Somebody was a freak-a-leak, somebody liked it nasty, nasty. The imagery that I got when getting this message here is literally like the person who would suck a penis that has just been in their behind, like with the shit on it, okay? Excuse my language, but I'm just telling you, like, no disrespect or nothing like that or whatever. But these are the messages that are coming across, okay? The next message that I have here is sacrifice. They definitely were sacrificed. This was a setup that went wrong. They were sacrificed. They were really betrayed. Individuals that they thought that they can trust was very disloyal to them. Sex addiction plays a big part in the things that went on because, of course, they were into things pertaining to being sex workers, okay? So they definitely had drug addictions. They had sex addictions. There was a lot of different things. The next message we have here is the mark of the beast, okay? 666. We know that this beast